Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here.
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah, good morning and welcome back. You are listening to Scout Team Sports. We are excited to be here this beautiful Tuesday morning as we are live each and every Monday through Friday weekday at 6 a.m. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
And all of that is true. And the man on the other microphone is the great patriot himself. They call him
America. Yeah, it's your boy Chris America coming to you live from Big Sky, Montana. We are doing it live here every Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and Friday morning. Those are all the days of the week, right, Loudbeard?
You missed 7, but that's okay.
Okay.
You know what? There's Falafel Day. There's Jimmy Eats World Day. There's Mardi Gras Bead Day. You missed all of those, but that's okay. I'll let you have a pass today.
Thank you, sir. Is Golden Ghost here?
Hey, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
I guess that answers that question for you. He likes to sneak in like a ghost and come in hot and late. And so we'll wait for that. I have a feeling he'll be on, but just not right on time.
Well, Loudbeard, we're going to be missing Anthony Mack today, but that's not the biggest missing my bro story. Last night, we watched two of the best NBA bros. They played their last game together, and it had to be against each other this time, Loudbeard, and they had a sweet moment, trading jerseys, and taking pictures, and they finished their series head-to-head, 15-15. Of course, I'm talking about LeBron James and Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, these were some serious bros, man.
It's not that
We're going to
sad.
miss seeing those bros together. Whoa, Golden Ghost.
You missed your intro, man.
Dude.
Where you been?
No, I missed it, but I didn't miss it. I was here. I don't know.
Were you
I'm
having
not
some technical difficulties?
Just a little bit, but I'm here. Happy
Yeah,
Tuesday, fellas.
Happy Tuesday. I had some technical difficulties this morning, too. Right before I was getting ready to play the intro, it got real glitchy and then, knocked me out. So then I came back in and played it, and then my settings were all jacked up, so I was really loud. So it looked like I was really loud. I don't know if it felt like it was really loud on your end. So I just adjusted it,
always
so I
really
think
loud.
I'm back to normal. Oh, come on, man. You got your
you
settings up to
are.
where you're like megaphone.
I mean, you have to hear me. My
they do
opinion
call me
has to ring
Loudbeard.
through. Yeah, do you
I
call
have
you
to live
Loudbeard?
into my name, Loudbeard.
Hey,
Can't
did-
be
did you
quiet
see my-
beard. Hi, this
Did you
is
see my new
Quiet.
Twitter handle?
It's your Loudbeard.
Is it called
nemesis.
Silent but Deadly?
I mean,
Silent
that
but
could be-
violent.
That's pretty good, actually. I'm thinking I might change it to that. Yeah, why not? Might be working. What's going on, guys? Yeah, LeBron James and D Wade played the last game against each other. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that was the last game. They exchanged jerseys. LeBron comes out and says something like, "I'm really gonna miss the ish out of this." It was a touching moment. His tear rolled quietly down his cheek. It was one of the most beautiful moments I have ever seen in NBA history, and I don't know if I could go on living life without knowing that LeBron James and Dwayne Wade are going to be on the court together ever again. Oh, this was one of the best bro moments of my life, man.
So are we thinking D Wade's going to retire this year? Has he announced that? Is he?
Yes. That's why
You ready?
that's his last game playing against LeBron James, because it was announced. at the beginning of the
just
year that
saying.
this would be his last year ever, and he would never get to play LeBron James ever again
Oh.
after this.
Oh, man. I don't feel sorry for rich basketball players. I mean, they might not play on the court in professional basketball again, but they'll always, have those yachts.
But what about that time we rode the
vacations.
banana boat together?
I mean,
That
yeah,
was
they're
like
going to go
one
on
of
the
the
banana boat.
most touching
Hey.
moments of my life.
We'll still
we
get
never
on the
gonna see that
banana boat,
again?
brother. I'm pretty sure you're going to see the banana boat again.
I don't know how you don't have any emotions during all of this, Anthony Mack. You're just you have no soul.
I have a soul. It just doesn't worry about LeBron James.
Can't
and
you just think about the
Dwayne
good
Wade.
times? Remember that one time when LeBron stood on stage with Dwayne Wade right by his
I
side
was
and he
back in
said,
Miami.
"Not one, not two, not three, not four," and he just kept counting and nobody really understood what he was trying to do. But that was a touching moment.
I understood what he was trying to do, but they only won one though. So
Wait, guys, this might not be the last time we see them on the court together. We forgot
Uh-oh.
about the AARP League of basketball, the Big Three. We could see these guys play again on the Big Three in like 5 years.
I doubt the big three stay around for the next 5 years.
Oh
But
man.
hey.
Oh man, but if they can get LeBron James and Dwayne Wade on board, it might just save that league.
So, as you guys know, but most of our listeners out there, they should know this also. We get social on Twitter, and after having a really emotional morning because it was going to be the last time LeBron James and Dwayne Wade were going to be on the court together, Memphis Spence said, "Hey, I just tuned into Scout Team Radio, and Loudbeard is crying. What is going on?" Memphis Spence, I just wanted to let you know that no more LeBron and Dwayne Wade on the court together ever again. It has created such an emotional moment here for Scout Team Sports. We're all just broing out right now because we're just going to miss these guys.
Not really.
If I could take the jersey off my back and hand it over to both LeBron and Dwayne Wade right now, I would do it. I would do it right now if I could.
You have a jersey on?
No, but if I did, I could. I would if I could. If I had one on, I would.
Oh,
I got a Bill Cartwright jersey somewhere he can have.
you guys crack me up.
Man, Bill Cartwright was he was underrated.
NBA
Underrated
legend.
center. Oh, I loved Bill Cartwright. And the way he kind of threw the free throws with his like arms cocked
Oh,
to the side.
the overhead.
The overhead, like angled, like boop. Yep, that was my man. Keeping it real, Bill Cartwright.
Yeah.
So when you think of greatest teammates of all time, obviously LeBron and Dwayne Wade, they played against each other, they played with each other, and you got to think that coming in a close second would got to be Michael Jordan and Bill Cartwright, right?
Yeah, without a doubt.
What? What?
When you think of greatest teammates of all times, I mean, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, definitely. Bill Cartwright, Michael Jordan, definitely. And then Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. Yeah, I mean, that's my power ranking of best teammates of all time.
I'm speechless. But okay, yeah.
Speechless. I mean, there was also, guys, you also are forgetting Kobe Bryant and Jordan Hill. Also another amazing duo. in
The
NBA history.
longevity wasn't there. They were great together,
Yeah.
but the longevity wasn't
I feel
there.
like Carlos Boozer broke up that relationship though.
Man, Carlos
was Booze?
Boozer was a troublemaker. He was always causing trouble. He goes in there, he breaks up all kinds of relationships. I mean, seriously. What is wrong with him?
Seriously.
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 Man, that 2014 roster for the Lakers was bad. Boozer, Bryant, Jordan Clarkson, Ed Davis, Xavier Henry, Jordan Hill, and Wesley Johnson. That is not the who's who of the NBA.
I know. I mean, if Kobe Bryant
like-
was a top 5 Laker, maybe that would be a better lineup. But, you know that conversation.
So it lists their
So-
salaries that year.
Uh-huh.
Kobe Bryant, $23 million. And then they had $3 million for Boozer, $1 million for Davis, $1 million for Henry, $9 million for Jordan Hill, and $1 million for Wesley Johnson.
They saved a lot of money that year.
Oh.
All the money
no,
goes
they
to
spent
Kobe,
it all on
man.
Kobe.
We play it for pay the superstars. Kobe was like highest paid in the league at that point. He had that salary where it just kept getting bigger and bigger. Like, as long as you stayed on your team, the team could up your salary higher than these other guys that were moving teams and getting the max deal. So Kobe ended up getting paid good, and his skills deteriorated pretty quickly around that point, and they obviously did
Did you
not
see
have the
who was
talent
playing
around
with?
him. Well, yeah, no, the talent around him was awful. I absolutely 100% agree with you, Golden Ghost. You got to have a better teammate on your team than that, like a LeBron James and Dwayne. Oh man, I'm getting a little weepy again. I got to bring them up again.
Don't do it. Please don't do it.
LeBron, I miss you and Dwayne Wade playing against each other and with each other.
Loudbeard, like who?
Like LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. These two together are like my favorite bros of all time. I mean,
Was it even a good game?
I believe that in the history of the NBA, I will never, ever see two bros like this ever again. We're seeing history, fellas. Two of the greatest that we will never, ever see on the field again or on the court again because we're going to miss them. We might
And
see
yes,
them on the field.
It was a 108 to 105 victory by the Lakers.
Hey, man, the Lakers are coming in hot, 17-10 now in the West, sitting there in the 5th seed. I mean, it's still early for seeding, but sitting there 5th in the West. Lakers are hot. That's because they got the great LeBron James. I don't know what else to tell you guys.
It's true.
Now, they are, and they keep trying to retool. They're trying to build around LeBron. Magic Johnson isn't just sitting around letting this thing, they don't want to be just average. They want to be good. So I saw rumors that the Lakers are in hot pursuit of bringing over Trevor Ariza. And Trevor Ariza is your typical 3-and-D guy, and he brings a lot of veteran leadership and a lot of experience in the playoffs. So this would be a great addition. The Lakers...
So wait.
Yes.
Are you saying we can have a new bromance with LeBron James and Trevor Ariza?
Yes, I am saying that.
I'm saying Trevor Ariza has been around almost every team in the league, almost, hasn't he?
Okay, so he has been
He's a
around.
Magic
Okay.
legend. He's a Magic legend.
He
He is
good
an
on the
Orlando Magic legend. He also beat the Magic in the finals when he was a Laker. So that was the year Kobe Bryant. Him and Kobe Bryant already had a bromance. And then last year he was on the Rockets.
That was President Obama's first year in office. That's how long ago that was.
There's a lot of bromances going on that year. Lots of them. So Ariza is a good piece. He's a good role player. He's a good guy to have on your team. He was on the Rockets last year, and the Rockets let him walk. And you see where the Rockets went. They decided to get Carmelo instead of bringing back Ariza. And how is that working out for the Houston Rockets right now, gentlemen?
The same way every team that picks up Carmelo Anthony goes.
So the Rockets have cut Carmelo, but they didn't get Trevor Ariza back. So now they're still stinking. Just saying. I think maybe we were focusing too much on Carmelo and not enough on Trevor Ariza leaving the Rockets for being part of their problems. So now the Lakers are doing their job by going out and trying to get some pieces around LeBron. They're going for defensive guys. Tyson Chandler they bring in, a defensive guy. Trevor Ariza is a good defensive guy. And I think they are building a team to make a push in the playoffs. Now, I'm not crazy enough to say they could beat Golden State. I'm not that stupid, and I'm not that crazy. But this team is built to make some noise in the playoffs, and they are not done. They're still making moves. So watch out for the Lakers, my friends.
Sure.
All right.
I hate when I turn my mic off and I forget. Watch out for the Lakers. Are they winning the title?
No. Not even getting past the first round, I don't think.
Oh, they're going to get past the first round. No.
Think so?
Anything's possible. They could not even make the playoffs at this point. You never know what could happen. The West is a very
It's a long
competitive.
season.
Yeah, it's competitive. It's a long season. Anything can happen. Who knows? We're not going to. I mean, I guess we're here in the business of hot takes and predictions and bold statements and all that, being on sports talk radio, but I think the Lakers are going to make some noise. I don't think they're a first-round out in the playoffs. I think that they will make some noise. LeBron plays his best basketball in the playoffs, and he will show up. Now, again, I do not think they're going to get past Golden State. That would be kind of a foolish statement to say, but I do think that they have the chance to make a deep playoff run with how they're trying to get this roster built around LeBron James. So don't sit on the Lakers. They will make some noise in the playoffs. Just letting you two know this.
We
Man.
heard it here first on
Okay.
Scout Team Sports. Well, guys, we were talking about the top end of the
Sure.
NBA. I want to talk about the bottom end of the NBA. Which of these teams will reach 10 wins first? The Atlanta Hawks with 6 wins, the Cleveland Cavaliers with 6 wins, the Chicago Bulls with 6 wins, or the Phoenix Suns with 4 wins?
Wow, that's a good-
I'll go to
good
long
question.
shot. Let's go Phoenix.
Phoenix with the long shot.
Phoenix with the long
my
shot.
if I were to be betting against which one won't make it first, it would definitely be Chicago. That team is falling apart at the seams.
Oh yeah, they're a hot mess right now. After Hoiberg got fired, they have their interim coach come in, and the players don't like what this guy's doing. You're seeing all kinds of just drama over in Chicago.
They're starting
And-
group text messages with each other, talking about we should just skip practice. They're having team meetings without the
Wow.
coaches. Like, this is bad.
Yeah. That's all the makings of shenanigans.
And, they
going
talked
on.
about how Jimmy Butler has been the cancer in this locker room and that locker room. Jimmy Butler's long gone from Chicago, and they are far worse right now than they ever were when Jimmy Butler was there.
How long has Jimmy Butler been gone? Like 2 years?
2 seasons, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a
he's
minute.
Definitely not the problem. Yeah. Huh. I would have thought you would have put Cleveland, but they're not having problems like the Bulls, so
No,
I guess
no,
so.
no.
Now the Bulls are having more problems than you even realize. Jim Boylan comes in as the new, I guess, interim coach or head coach, whatever you're going to call him at this point, and he is. We just got a tweet in. I'll read it in just a second. But he has come out and he's like, all right, that's it. We're going to pull this together. So he starts doing these like grueling practices. He's doing like these back-to-back practices after they have an embarrassing loss. He's doing like he's really trying to push these guys. And so some of the players on the Bulls have contacted the Players Association to put in complaints against him for him practicing them too hard. Now, does that sound like a dysfunctional family or what?
Yes, definitely a dysfunctional family. Haven't seen a dysfunctional family like that since It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's a good show.
Were they
Still a good
family?
show. And I wanted to thank
Yeah, you had
David
two-
Green for tweeting in at us at meangreen_42. He said, Scout Team Radio, you do understand that Bobby Portis is back. They're winning 10 straight.
Oh.
That was the key. All they needed was
Dang.
Bobby Portis back.
Yes. They needed his 10.2, 9.6, 1.8 stats. on the
Well,
season.
hold up. But I'm just reading something that says Dunn and Portis out Saturday night against the Celtics. That was like maybe an hour ago. So, are
Oh,
you sure?
No.
No, it says
No, don't
16
do that
hours
to
ago. 16 hours ago, it says Bobby Portis and Chris Dunn returning for Bulls against the Kings.
Well, 2 hours ago it says Dunn and Portis out Saturday night against the Celtics.
You'll have to get
We're
to the
getting
bottom of
mixed
this.
reports here. Mixed
We got-
reports.
Oh,
This is getting weird.
Okay.
Either
I'm just
way,
saying.
when Bobby Portis comes back, when BP10, that's what they call him, when BP10 comes back, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Okay.
That's
Sure.
what they called him, though. At Arkansas, they called him BP10. Trust me, I was just there in Eureka Springs yesterday.
Okay. Wow. Look at you. You're a
Are you
world
doing
traveler,
your, like,
Chris
you do-
America.
Yeah, you doing your like America tour or something? You all
Yeah,
right?
man, right now I'm in Big Sky, Montana. It's really, really cold up here.
Hey, Anthony Mack, do me
yeah,
one quick
Montana.
favor. I want you to say
What's that?
Chris America's full name, middle name included. Just say it once for us. Chris, United States of America. What do you think he's doing? He's doing a tour of the United States because he's more American than you. That's
So
what
remember,
he's doing.
guys, I just go by Ted in my middle name for short.
American.
All right, Ted.
Ted.
And that was your TED
Yeah,
Talk.
Ted. Something's wrong with you, bro.
Thank you. Wow, that was a good
Something's
TED Talk.
definitely wrong
That was
with
a
you.
real good TED Talk.
I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
So,
Look, dude,
Loudbeard,
Yes.
you talked about missing or making the playoffs and missing the playoffs. Are the Vikings going to miss the playoffs?
Oh boy, you just opened up a can of lots to talk about with this one. And we talked
wait, I
yesterday.
missed the question. It blanked out. What?
Yeah,
Who's making
put
the
your
playoffs?
headphones on. Put your headphones on.
I got the headphones on.
Turn the
Alright,
volume
so
up.
Turn the
I got
volume
it.
up. Put the volume up. Okay, so
Just say who you said missing. The
will
playoffs.
the Vikings make the playoffs, Anthony Mack? I'm going to shout into the microphone just for you. All of
Yeah.
our listeners are getting annoyed. Thanks a lot. I'm getting tweets
Stop
about it
watching
right
your
now.
Tim Tebow. Stop watching your Tim
fight you.
Tebow highlight videos and focus on the show.
I'm gonna. We're definitely not doing that. They didn't look hot, did they? I don't think they miss it. I think they make it. I still think they make the playoffs.
Now, is it that the Vikings didn't look hot, or that the Seahawks looked on fire?
No, I don't think either of them looked on fire. It was bad. Bad
I
football
feel like
except
that
for the
Seahawks
last
defense
in the
looked
fourth
on
quarter.
fire.
Yeah. It's all about
I feel
the
like that
defenses
Seahawks
now.
Well, I did
defense
tell you
was
to
looking on fire.
Well, I did tell you the Seahawks was one of those quiet teams, right? Remember yesterday I said, man, they're just quiet. Nobody's talking about them, which is scary. So I got them.
We know they're going to make it in. We don't need to
Yeah.
talk about them. They're going to make it in. We're not worried about them.
I mean,
These other
Kirk Cousins had a bad game, but the Seahawks were harassing him all night. And our boy, UCF Knight legend Shaquille Griffin, had a night as well.
He's the man. He's the man. I love that guy. Hey, on a side note, you're going to give Kirk Cousins a pass? You're giving Kirk Cousins a pass. You can't give Kirk
I didn't-
Cousins a pass.
I gave him a half and
he's
half.
talking-
He had a bad game. He had a terrible game.
Okay,
But
He's talking
he also
about
got
me.
harassed hard.
all right, I'm going to have to jump in here because I've seen a lot of game footage on Kirk
here
Cousins.
comes the Redskins tape.
I'm going to throw out
He went from
a
top
quick
5
fact
to
for
bottom
you.
5.
So there's a reason why the Redskins did not keep Kirk Cousins. You know
Oh,
this,
boy.
right? There is a good reason why.
God.
So right now, Kirk Cousins, his record on
Timeout.
Monday Night Football.
Timeout.
Yes.
Go back, cause it was a
Timeout.
time
Any
and
team
point
that
he was
signs Mark
begging
Sanchez
to keep.
doesn't get to talk about how smart they are at making quarterback moves. Time in. Go ahead.
All right. So, first of all, Mark Sanchez was a pickup after two other quarterbacks had broken legs this year, and they
You
benched him
signed-
after making a mistake.
You
and they
signed
bring in
Uncle-
Josh Johnson, who
Listen,
looked great. By the
You
way,
signed
Josh
Uncle
Johnson looked great.
Rico. Like you just go and find it. They'll be like, hey, who played that character, Uncle Rico? You find him and you make him your quarterback before you make Mark Sanchez your quarterback.
So moving on to
Uncle
Kirk
Rico
Cousins
could play
talk.
ball.
So Kirk Cousins, I'm going to throw this one stat at you, just so you know how clutch Kirk Cousins is, and that is he is 0-7 on Monday Night Football games, and that is with two different teams. So you think, oh, maybe the Redskins were bad? No, Kirk Cousins does not show up for big games. He never has, and at this rate, he never will. And that is the problem. You know what his record is against teams with winning records? 4-15. Yes, go ahead. This guy is not clutch. That's the problem. He does not carry that clutch gene. He is good when he's playing a team that is not that good. But when there is a great defense, and Memphis Spence, a good friend and listener of the show, when he says on Twitter, he says, at Scout Team Radio, that wasn't bad football. That was great defense. I agree with you. That was great defense, but that was bad football by Kirk Cousins. He's just an average quarterback, and he needs to do better in these big games. You cannot be an 0-7 on primetime games. You can't be losing to teams that are with winning records. You have to win some of those games, and Kirk Cousins just hasn't shown the ability to do that, and this is exactly what he did in Washington when he became a free agent. Everybody's like, why do you keep just putting him on a franchise tag? He never showed enough to make that huge commitment, and they ended up making the commitment towards Alex Smith, which I thought was a good move at the time. But now the Vikings, who were a playoff team last year, don't look like a playoff team this year with Kirk Cousins, and that's the difference. The difference is Kirk Cousins. Most of the rest of that team is the same. Now, their defense has tailed off a little bit, but Case Keenum looked like a better quarterback in this offense than Kirk Cousins.
Man,
I don't know. So you sure there's no like animosity because of everything that went down with the Redskins?
Absolutely not. I actually want good things for Kirk Cousins. I thought he was a good guy for Washington. He just, every time, 3 years in a row, I would sit there and we were like an 8-8 team. We were what the Cowboys are with Jason Garrett typically, where you're just sitting there and you're like, we're good, but we're not great. And every time it was that game where you're like, we need to win this game to make a playoff push. Every time it was an important game, every time it was a primetime game, every time you thought, okay, we need somebody to carry this team on our back, Kirk Cousins always fell short, and that got frustrating, and that's why he did not get signed with the Redskins. And it's not an animosity thing. It's a living through it, knowing that this is what you get from this guy. And the Vikings knew that going in, but he was a player in his prime that had put up good stats, and against bad teams, he always plays really good. But against great teams and great defenses and in prime time and in big moments, he always falls short.
I really wish we could pull up old tweets from like 2 seasons ago when Kyle was like all on Kirk Cousins top 5, man. I wish there was some way to do that.
Well, that was me being a homer. You know that, right? Like, I can be my fandom. I've said top 5 about everybody. I even said 3 weeks ago when they were thinking about getting Mark Sanchez, I said, you know what? I'm going to be crazy and say he's the top 5 backup quarterback that was off the streets. I say things like that, but this is me being real with you. Kirk Cousins misses that clutch, that he doesn't have that, like, it factor. When we talk about, Aaron Rodgers with 2 minutes left, when he has the ball, when Drew Brees has the ball, the other team is thinking, these guys are going to go down and score. Nobody thinks that about Kirk Cousins. Nobody.
So you're going to just go ahead and admit that I was right this whole time?
Yeah, sure, if that's what makes you feel better. If that's what makes you sleep at night, yes,
it makes
you
me
were
feel
right.
better. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what, man? I'm just saying I appreciate it. Thank you. I was right. Kirk Cousins doesn't have it.
Listen,
but
I think
Minnesota Vikings defense has it. So I think they're going to make it to the playoffs still.
That Minnesota Vikings defense should be heavily criticized as much as we're criticizing the Kirk Cousins. Now, I think my only problem with Kirk Cousins isn't that he's a bad quarterback. He's a solid quarterback, and any team would be lucky to have him. His problem is he's an overpaid quarterback. That's all there is to it. Right now, he's not living up to the $84 million contract that he signed. You said that he's not as good as Case Keenum. He's actually having a better season than Case Keenum, but only slightly. So if you're going to pay somebody
Case Keenum last year on the Vikings compared to this year with Kirk Cousins on the Vikings, if you compare those stats, you're saying that Cousins
right now with 3 games to go, Cousins has 1 more touchdown and like 50 less yards. He's got a better quarterback rating, more yards per game, and a better touchdown percentage.
But what about wins and losses?
I mean, I don't remember what the Vikings' record was last year. It was pretty good.
Just saying.
But the
Just throwing
defense
that
was
out.
also better last year for Case Keenum. The defense was stout last year. We've watched the Buffalo Bills shred that defense. We've watched Josh Allen shred that Vikings defense. So don't put it all on Kirk Cousins. But yes, if you're only slightly better than Case Keenum, and you could have gotten Case Keenum for a dime while you're paying, Kirk Cousins $500, then yeah, you can say the difference between Kirk Cousins and Case Keenum isn't that much. But
last night, would you say the Vikings defense was the problem? I'm going to throw this out there.
No. Last night, no, it wasn't. Last night, both defenses played great, but the defenses have been up and down for the Vikings. So last night, like I've already said, last night he had a bad game.
He had a good game. He just didn't have a great game, and you have to have great games in big situations. And that's where he's at.
He had a better game than Russell Wilson. I'm just saying.
I mean, listen, Aaron Rodgers has never won in Seattle, so I don't know why we're giving him such a hard time about not winning in Seattle.
Yeah.
It's sleepless in Seattle, man. Great movie.
Okay,
say
all
okay,
right,
okay.
yeah.
You guys.
Meg Ryan is definitely on
You
Anthony
guys,
Mack's
you're
Hall
killing
Pass.
me. You're killing me.
I don't know what that is, but listen, he had a better statistically. He had a better game than Russell Wilson. I'm just saying.
Oh man, did you see that interception by Russell Wilson?
No, I didn't see that.
No. Oh my, he was running for his life away from the line of scrimmage. He was like 20 yards from the line of scrimmage, and then he just turns around and chucks the ball up.
Huh?
It didn't even make the line of scrimmage. Just some Vikings guy was just standing there like 10 or 15 yards away and intercepted it. It was bad. It was one of the worst interceptions of the season.
And he still got the win. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his defense got the win.
Yeah.
Hey, a win's a win.
A win's a win.
Well, guys, it's about that time for a commercial break. But we'll when we come back on the other side of the break, we'll find out what John Grease, the guy who played Uncle Rico, has been up to these days.
'When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. "12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst."
Oh, guess who it is? Did you know the station had a janitor? Oh, yeah, the Hefe, otherwise known as Beck. And it's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12-Ounce Sports Radio every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch interviews, special guests, and the recap of the week's news and headlines and box scores and results. It's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12-Ounce Sports Radio.
Scout Team listeners and friends of the show, I've got something special for you. It looks like 12-Ounce Sports Radio has done it again. We have partnered with Rally House. You just go to the website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner on the right side of the page, and it will take you directly to Rally House. Rally House has some of the greatest, most unique sports items for that diehard fan, casual fan, and anybody and everybody out there that is special in your life. So go ahead and check it out. Once again, go to that website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner to the right of the page, and you will get taken to the best sports merchandise website on all of the interweb. Do you own a small business? Are you looking for solutions to all of your communications, problems, and challenges that you have? Check out Ring Central. Give them a call. They have partnered with 12ouncesportsradio.com to give you the best rates on all of your business and office solutions for communication. Give them a call today. We have a dedicated line for all of the 12-ounce sports radio listeners. It is 1-877-779-3860. You will get a representative on the phone who will help you with all of your small business communications needs. Once again, give them a call today, 1-877-779-3860. Yeah, welcome back once again. You are listening to Scout Team Sports. We bring it to you hot and live each and every weekday morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., and replay again at 11 a.m. on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. If you did not catch our live episode yesterday, it's not too late. You can go back and download that podcast. It is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or anywhere you can find a podcast, or also available on our website, scoutteamradio.com. All of our old episodes are available on the website. Make sure you check it out when you get an opportunity, and you can listen to all the greatness that we call Scout Team Sports. Also, if you want to get social with us on the morning show, make sure you hit us up on Twitter at Scout Team Radio. If you tweet at us, we will read your tweets live on the air. We will discuss the topics you bring up. We will discuss your tweet. even if it's a great tweet or a bad tweet or a horrible tweet, a bad take, whatever it is, we read it and we talk about it and we love it, and we want to appreciate all of our listeners who get interactive with us, who tweet at us, and who talk to us on Twitter. Well, gentlemen, I am excited because today is a beautiful Tuesday, and now the Vikings have just made it a little bit easier for my Washington Redskins, who have lost 4 games straight, to still make the playoffs. And you know why that is? Because we're only sitting half a game back. So us, the Carolina Panthers, who have also been on a losing streak, and the Philadelphia Eagles are all sitting a half a game back from the Minnesota Vikings for that last wild card spot. And only 1 game back is your Green Bay Packers. Golden Ghost, your Packers may back into the playoffs this year. I know yesterday you said you do not want to see your Packers in the playoffs. I mean, if you had Uncle Rico as a quarterback, you'd have a little bit more confidence. But because your Packers might back into the playoffs, how do you feel about that? I mean, things just got real interesting. We all picked the Vikings as our wild card team, and today my decision has changed, my opinion has changed, and I don't think the Vikings squeak out this wild card. I think they miss the playoffs just like Kirk Cousins did to the Redskins year in and year out. I think he barely does just enough for them to miss the playoffs. It's anybody's ball game, gentlemen.
I think you're just hating on Kirk Cousins. I still got faith in the Vikings. I still don't want the Packers to back into the playoffs. Like I don't want them to take that wild card spot. For me, it's not about my team. It's about good football. We're not putting a quality product on the field. I mean, unless something drastically changes in the next couple of weeks, I don't see it happening. So no, I still got the Vikings. I still got faith in them. Vikings are going to make it. They'll be fine. They're not going to make They're not going to make a run, but they'll make it to the playoffs.
Well, the Vikings, I guess they're the best of the rest, right? They're sitting there at the top. They got the wild card. I mean, nobody has confidence in the Redskins, including myself, who is, the Homer fan. I did see some good things out of Josh Johnson, but it was in garbage time. I'm assuming he's going to be the starting quarterback. Josh Johnson. You didn't see what he did in garbage time? He looks so good.
In garbage time?
Yeah, when you're down 40 to nothing and you switch out quarterbacks and you bring in another quarterback and he comes in and he brings a spark, it gives you a little bit of a excitement. It makes you think, wow, this guy could be the guy. But when the other team has time to game plan for him and, it's a full game, the story's probably going to be different. Again, I'm not very confident in my Redskins. I know Chris America, he's not super confident in his Panthers the way they've been playing the last few weeks. Eagles fans, I mean, they've had a couple of heartbreaking losses this year. Specifically, Tennessee, they lost a heartbreaker earlier in the year in overtime, and then the Cowboys game this past week in overtime, losing. So the Eagles have been on the cusp of making a run. They just seem like they can't get over that hump. So out of the teams sitting there half a game behind the Vikings, I would have to say the Eagles have the best shot at sweeping in and making some noise. But it's anybody's ball game. I don't know what's going to happen. You guys don't know what's going to happen. This could get ugly here in the NFC.
I think what we're seeing
is wide open.
We said at the beginning of the season that the NFC is probably the better conference, top to bottom. And that's why I think you see that the wild card is going to come in limping in at a 9-7 or an 8-8 because you're just constantly playing one good team after another good team. Miss America is a Detroit Lions fan, and I know a lot of people aren't high in the Lions. I'm not going to say that the Lions are a great team, but they're a decent team. They're a lot better than 5-8, that's for sure. And you can say the same about the Green Bay Packers. I feel like the Packers, even with all their problems, they're still better than 5-7-1. So it's really difficult. And you got the Eagles, 6-7. The Eagles, I mean, they just won the Super Bowl, so they're better than 6-7. But when you have to play top competition week in and week out, they talk about how it's a grind in the SEC. No. It's a grind in the NFC. The NFC is what a true grind looks like. There are no Charleston Southerns on this schedule. There are no Sun Belt teams on this schedule. It is just week in and week out. You got to play the Vikings. You got to play the Redskins. You got to play the Cowboys. You got to play the Seahawks. I mean, these are all teams that I'm just mentioning off of the Carolina Panthers. So, yes, I'm not overly confident in my Panthers right now, but they're still a solid team. And at 6-7, they're better than that. And I think that they, just like the Eagles, just like the Vikings, they all could just come in and win it. It's really too hard to say right now.
And we're talking so much trash about playoffs and everything. The Cowboys are, I mean, they're a deadlock, aren't they? They're
yeah,
probably going to
I don't think
get in.
they're a team that's not looking back right now. And Loudbeard, I think I need more of an idiot sandwich than you do, but that trade, I'm all in, man. That trade was worth it now. That trade was full on worth it.
I don't know.
Dak
We
Prescott,
both deserve idiot sandwiches. I was down on that. I was like, oh, you're trading around a first-round pick for Cooper, and he's been so sporadic his whole career.
Little do we know that it was all about the Raiders and Derek Carr than it was about Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
And I think
I agree with you.
in the NFC, Dak Prescott is number 1. He has the most passing yards over the last 5 weeks and 3rd in the NFL. So that should tell you
that's crazy
how big Amari Cooper was. We left Dak Prescott for dead at the beginning of the season. We were trashing him.
Week three.
Everybody,
like,
not just we as in Scout Team. We're talking about we as in the entire sports world was like, oh, we were wrong about Dak. They shouldn't have let Tony Romo go. And it's so funny how quickly we turn on a guy. And insert an actual wide receiver, and he blossoms again. He's back to being the Dak Prescott of his rookie season.
Yeah.
And same with Ezekiel Elliott.
I mean, their attention's off of them. You know, they got Amari Cooper just running up the field on everybody. So yeah, it leaves lanes open for Ezekiel Elliott, and yeah, like you say, Dak looks like, god dang, a star again. I'm not a Cowboys fan. This is making me depressing. Stop.
You want to go back to calling him Romo Former?
Yes, I do. I want so bad. I want to, but I can't because he's better.
I'm with you guys, man. Dude, we're not big Cowboys fans, but you got to respect what they're doing on the field. And it's not just those guys. The defense isn't getting enough credit, and that offensive line had a bunch of injuries at the beginning of the year, and it took them a little while to get the right pieces in there and to kind of to gel. Once that offensive line came together, it got a lot easier for Zeke. It got a lot easier for Dak. And then that bringing Amari Cooper over was just kind of that cherry on top. That was just the perfect contribution to the overall team that has made such a difference. And I'm telling you guys, Chris America, I will eat that idiot sandwich with you because I didn't see this coming. I really didn't.
Now,
they're a good team.
Listen to this. The Cowboys could go 11-5. They have the Colts, the Buccaneers, and the Giants left.
Yeah, so they'll pretty much lock up the NFC East, and so they'll have that first round at home, probably playing the Minnesota Vikings or one of those teams we mentioned. And if they can get through that team at home, which would you rather do if you were you guys?
God.
Would you rather go through New Orleans or L.A.?
Ooh. I'm going to have to take, at this time, New Orleans.
Like, you think they'd be the easier route than L.A.?
I don't know. Both teams have struggled offensively the last 2 weeks.
I know. I'm looking back. I'm thinking of New Orleans against Dallas, struggled. New Orleans against the Bucs, they struggled first half. They came back a little bit in the second half. And then L.A. with that terrible game against Chicago the other night. Wow, that's tough. I mean, you said it on Twitter, I believe, Chris America, 3-4 weeks ago. We were talking like these offenses were the greatest of all times. And now all of a sudden, a few weeks later, a couple good defensive performances, and we don't know what to make of these two teams anymore. I still think New Orleans is the tougher team, and I'm going to say that's because of Drew Brees. I think when you have a quarterback that's been there with the experience and the veteran leadership that he has, that gives them a slight edge over Jared Goff and the LA Rams. And I think just Drew Brees himself gives the Saints a little bit. They're going to be a tougher team in the playoffs So I would rather go and play LA than I would play New Orleans.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And check out the LA Rams schedule. Eagles, Cardinals, and 49ers. Could the Dallas Cowboys end up with a better record than the Rams?
No, I think they'll beat
You
the
think?
last
Do you think?
two, like-
You think the Rams went out?
Well,
No,
the
they might
Cardinals
lose
and
to
the
the Eagles.
49ers?
They might. No, I'm saying. Yeah, well, yeah, they,
I mean,
they got
those
the
are
Eagles.
two of the worst teams in the league going against the
No,
Rams.
what I'm saying is the Eagles game though. If they drop to the Eagles, I mean,
Yeah,
it,
but then
it
they
could
finish
happen.
with 4 losses.
Yeah, there's no way.
They'd have to
The
go.
Rams are
1
going to
and
have
2.
a better record than the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eagles need to get off the
Mm.
mat, though. So the Eagles are going to be the dangerous team for the Rams to play. But if I'm the Rams, that's your one shot to knock out the Super Bowl champs. That could be the one team you don't want to see in the playoffs. And so you just knock them out early. If you have a chance to kick a team out of the playoffs before the playoffs even start, you take it. You do not want a team that has championship experience and playoff experience, especially when you're the Rams and you have very little. You want to knock that team out as fast as you can. You want the Dallas Cowboys in there because the Dallas Cowboys have little to no playoff experience compared to the Eagles.
I'm gonna go in on a limb, man. I think the Cowboys make a run. It's something.
Oh, no, I
weird
think they
about 'em,
finish
man.
off. Are you talking about a run to the Super Bowl?
Dude, I think it's got to be the Cowboys or the Seahawks, man. I don't know, dude. I'm just something about those teams right there.
Well, they both have elite defenses. It's like we've been talking about Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott. The Dallas Cowboys defense has been lights out phenomenal this year.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh boy, I wish my team would have drafted that Leighton Vander Esch. Man, that guy's a beast.
That would have been the
God,
difference.
that hurts my feelings.
They might have been able to put him in at quarterback.
Oh, he could play every position.
I bet he could play better than Mark
every
Sanchez.
down. He.
Oh man.
Don't bring up Mark Sanchez again, please. That hurts. That hurts deep, man. Come on. I thought we were friends.
But fumble.
I feel like that was like a kick in the what's.
Yeah, kicking the Ghiblies.
Yeah. I think
Every
we
time
see,
it's just it hurts.
God,
I think
I'm
we see
looking at
something
this.
weird coming.
I'm looking at this NFC playoff picture, and I can't tell you who's going to come out of this thing on top because I love the Bears. I like what the Cowboys are doing. The Saints are the Saints. The Rams have that exciting, fast-paced offense. And then you got that wild card team out there, the Seahawks, the Panthers, whoever they are, the Eagles. I'm ready for January, guys.
Yeah. NFC playoff picture's awesome. I love
I'm
it.
not so ready for January because I'm telling you, something's weird gonna happen. I feel it. I can feel it in the air this morning.
Well, don't
Something's
jinx
weird
us.
gonna happen. No, what you mean? You guys are weird.
You're talking
all
about like
the
something
time,
weird,
so
like
that's
like
fine.
like aliens are gonna attack or something. You're making me nervous.
Well,
Hey,
well, if
Anthony
Cowboys
Mack,
win
did
the
you get a
Super Bowl,
probe?
yes,
you get a
aliens
probe?
will attack us.
I think
No.
Anthony
You probed
got
last
probed.
night, Anthony? That could
You
explain
ain't
that
right
weird
right
feeling
now.
he has.
You ain't
that
right.
Could explain,
I think you've been probed.
There's no probing, my friend.
could explain that weird feeling he's got.
I'm pretty sure he got
Something's wrong
probed.
with you guys.
Is that why
sounds
you
like
were
he's been
late?
probed.
Hold on. Is that why you were late? Did you take a
I
walk of shame
wasn't
today?
late. I wasn't late. I was right here.
The aliens zapped him back. He's like, "You're gonna have to cut your probe off early. I got a radio show to
gotta
get on,
run,
guys. Guys, please, guys."
Some-
and they're like, "We'll
something
beam you down
seriously
at
wrong with you
5:59,
guys.
just enough time for you to
This
walk
is
in."
not
a few
Scott
minutes
Team
late.
After Dark, so calm down, people. Okay.
We're
So-
not giving like specifics of what the probing ends up looking like. We're just giving a general. Everybody knows aliens probe.
We
I'm gonna
spent
fight
a
you.
lot of time on the NFC, but I'm looking at the AFC picture right now, and if you're an AFC team, you want to have the home field advantage because the 5-time champions right now, as the season sits, is 6-0 at home and 3-4 on the road. That is a team you need to get to come into your stadium if you want to win. So if you're Kansas City, if you're Los Angeles, if you're the Houston Texans, you need to make sure somehow, some way that you get the Patriots at home. The Patriots at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And, I mean, it looks like it's going to happen, right? I mean, who you got? Chiefs sitting at top. Man, the Steelers are still going to make the playoffs, aren't they?
How
They don't
crazy is
deserve
this?
it.
And this is
They
the
don't
only
deserve it.
thing that I can't stand about the NFL. The Chiefs and the Chargers could finish with the two best records in the AFC, and the
Yes.
Chargers will have to play that first round on the road instead of getting a week 1 bye.
Wow. Yeah.
That's the only thing I would change about the NFL playoff rules. Too much importance in the division championships.
Yeah. Yeah. They do deserve to have that home field advantage. I mean, they've been playing lights out. So sorry for them, but they've never been effective in the playoffs, though. You know what I'm saying? Just Rivers. You want to talk about Kirk Cousins? Rivers has a way of just folding. So I don't know. We'll have to see. It's gonna be interesting. They play Thursday night, by the way. Chiefs and Chargers.
You said Rivers he folds, but when I say it about Cousins, everybody jumps down my throat, huh? Okay.
No, I was just saying that I was right about Cousins, and you finally admitted it. That's all. I'm okay. I'm okay with you saying the truth.
Just because
And-
you
and the
lose every
truth is,
argument with your wife doesn't mean you have to take it out on me.
I don't lose any
I mean-
argument with my wife.
Rivers has folded multiple times over the last 20 years. No, not 20. It's not 20 yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. About 15
it's getting
now.
there. Yeah, it's getting there.
Where Kirk Cousins has only been around since 2014, and Kirk Cousins was, a 4th-round draft pick as opposed to the number 4 pick overall?
I hear you. I'm just saying that big games he folds in. We're going to see a big game on Thursday night. We'll see what happens.
I can't wait. Actually, this game is too important to be on Thursday Night Football. They need to.
I agree.
They need to flex it into Sunday night. I don't know what they need to do, but this game is way too important right now to be a Thursday Night Football game.
I absolutely agree.
But that makes good football for Thursday night.
It does make for good football, but I hate to see a team lose because it was Thursday. It was short rest, short preparation. Like, I want to see both teams at the tip-top shape. But I guess if you're a true champion, no matter what the situation is, you overcome it.
That's true.
Something like
That's
that.
true.
And check out the Chargers' remaining schedule: Chiefs, Ravens, Broncos.
Ooh, that's a tough one. They could go 1
That's
and
a
2
tough
in that.
schedule. Yeah,
I'm
that's a
sitting
tough
here
schedule.
feeling sorry for them, but they could end up deserving that wild card spot and being on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna have to take it anyway if they lose to Thursday night anyway. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So I'm telling you, man, something's weird gonna happen this playoff season. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying the Dolphins are gonna win the Super Bowl, but I'm saying
Could be
something's
Marcus
weird's gonna
Mariota
happen.
lifting a trophy.
All the
I don't
big
think
dogs
so.
eat each other, and he's the one left out.
That's what happens sometimes.
That's what happens sometimes.
I don't feel the Titans run. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem like it's. I'm not feeling it. My gut is telling me that is not going to happen.
is-
But
Well, they
you know,
won
so
two
you're-
in
you
a
get into the
row.
saying-
dance, anything can happen at that point.
You're basically
Everybody
saying
can make
it's
a
a
run.
no. It's a no for me, dog.
Well,
Yeah.
no, we talked about
Randy
this, man. They got
Jackson.
the Giants,
Good
they
reference.
got the Redskins, and they got the Colts left. They could easily win out. They could easily win out.
I mean,
And
right now the Titans and the Colts are 4-1 and 3-2. Man, it's gonna this playoffs. I'm excited.
But listen about the Colts remaining schedule. They got the Cowboys this week. They have the Giants, and then they have the Titans. That last game of the season actually means
Oh yeah,
something.
we talked about that yesterday, man.
Yeah,
talked about it yesterday.
means something. So if they drop to the Cowboys, they beat the Giants. That game means everything. Like, that's it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Titans could squeeze in there, and all the dogs could eat each other, and Marcus Mariota
see-
just walks in.
Could we see 2 9-7 teams in the Super Bowl?
I'm telling you, man,
Nah,
something
these other
weird is
teams are
gonna
just
happen.
too good, man.
They are just
There's
too good.
But
no
the
way.
Rams were good last
No
year.
way.
And see what happened.
Huh? The Rams
The
were
Rams
good,
were
but they
good
weren't like
last year.
good like
What
they
happened?
are this year.
Oh yes,
Well,
they were.
in the Rams, who did they lose to? They
No, they
lost
weren't.
to. Listen, they lost to the Falcons, who were, like I said, they had that playoff experience, that championship pedigree, and that's why the Rams need to make sure they take care of the Eagles now before the Eagles take care of them in the playoffs.
Yeah, big time players step up in big time games, And that's what a guy like Drew Brees, he's been there. I mean, he's got one Super Bowl championship, but he's been in a lot of playoff situations. And to me, having that situational awareness and having that experience, you can't replicate that, man. You can't replicate that.
Can't.
And speaking of
I tell you
playoff
what.
experience,
Yeah, man.
oh, go ahead, Chris America. You're going to lead us home, aren't you?
Yeah, this was a big-time show because we're big-time radio hosts, but we're all out of big-time time.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we can talk about how the Rockets want J.R. Smith to help turn around that championship team.
Yes.
That's where it's really at right there.
I'm feeling it.
JR, you're my
Hey.
boy, JR. You're my boy.
Where's the White Hennessy?
They should get Dwight Howard on that team, too.
Nobody wants that, Dwight Mayer.